You're tuned in to Ask the Master Auto Technician. Car questions? Get answers right now. Call 850-763-0555.
James Auto Center, we fix it right, guaranteed. Beep, 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 yeah.
All right, welcome back to our second segment of our show today on Thursday morning. I've got Brian Armstead calling all the way from Maryland. Are you in Canada yet or going to Canada, Brian? I remember you were telling me that yesterday.
Yeah, actually, I'll be in Canada in 2 weeks. I had my dates mixed up, so we'll be available next week as well.
What are you going to Canada for? What are you going to Canada for?
To look at sustainable energy, solar power, wind power.
Wow.
The autonomous driving industry in Canada. Just a lot of high-tech stuff. I'll be a guest of the government of Canada, and they're interested in having me play stories across the United States, including Florida, about my travails in 2 weeks. From right coast to left coast across the beautiful country. I mean, Canada's just a really, really beautiful country, so I'm looking forward to the trip.
Never been there myself, but speaking
of... Oh, my God, just amazing.
Is it?
Just amazing.
Speaking of solar...
Great road.
Speaking of solar, we have solar here at James Auto Center. Our entire shop is powered by solar power. We have...
but you're ahead of the curve. You know, you understand the importance of bees and our ecosystem. You're politically ahead of the curve, so you're just one of those Renaissance type of guys.
I guess I don't know.
You would be the perfect candidate for a Renaissance type of vehicle.
Well, yeah. Now tell me about, is the Jeep Cherokee a Renaissance type vehicle, or is it?
Yeah, because when you think about it, James, Jeep has 75 years of history. They have always been linked to freedom, adventure, and passion. I mean, when you think of a Jeep owner, you think of somebody who wants to throw a bag in the car, not a golf bag, but either a picnic kit or an athletic bag, and go up into the hills, tread lightly up into the mountains, and just explore. You take the roof off of a Wrangler, for example, the plastic roof, and you fold down the windshield, and you take off the doors, and what an experience that is. I mean, I love the Wrangler.
Oh yeah,
I'm too tall to really fit in them properly, but what a vehicle. And Jeep did recently celebrate their 75th anniversary. I mean, you go back to World War II. They were looking for a do anything, go anywhere type of car, and they came up with this. I forgot what the actual acronym stood for back in the day. What they were called. Yeah, but it evolved into Jeep. I'm sorry.
I was trying to remember that too. It's something about government issue. And it sounded like Jeep, and I think that's where the acronym came from. It wasn't
exactly.
It was just government issued car, and someone says, go get this GI or something like that, something simple. Someone will probably call us and let us know about it. But it came from World War II, and at that time, I think several companies made Jeeps for military use. And then I think then American Motors took it over, if I want to say correctly, in the 60s or somewhere in that area. Maybe you know more about it than I do. I can't remember exactly.
Well, I don't have the entire history in front of me, but let's just say that they've come a long way, and they've been consistent with their theme, which is providing the ultimate off-road experience. I mean, I've had the opportunity to do a couple of Jeep Jamborees, and then they have a situation where they take people out to drive. It's a course, the Rubicon Trail, out in the Midwest or western part of the United States. You have to helicopter in. And I mean, you crawl over boulders, you winch over boulders, you crawl over ruts. It's a multi-day affair before you actually get out of the Rubicon, off of the Rubicon Trail. And in order to be a real Jeep and in order to be able to do all this off-road stuff, you have to be trail rated. And just about every Jeep in the lineup, I think all Jeeps in the lineup are trail rated. Now, some are lighter duty than others. At the top of the heap, you have the Grand Cherokee, which is the most awarded SUV ever, according to Jeep's own literature.
Right.
And then you have the Grand Cherokee SRT, which is just a brutal, acceleration mobile. This is something you want to keep on road, although it is capable of going off road.
Right.
You have the Cherokee, the Renegade, the Wrangler Unlimited, the Wrangler, and then at the bottom end of the scale, you have the $20,000 Compass and the $17,695 Jeep Patriot.
Yeah.
Now, I had the Jeep Cherokee Latitude 4x4, and it came in at $27,295. And I got to tell you, I really enjoyed. Well, that was the base price. The price was tested was $36,715. Had an opportunity to drive from my home in Maryland up to just north of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. And it was a very pleasant ride, a very comfortable ride. It has cloth seats that really support you. These seats have some type of material in them that kind of repels moisture. They're called mesh bucket seats. It had the 75th edition cloth in it, and on the side it had a little badge that says since 1941. The car was Recon green clear coat, and it was just beautiful with a black interior. It was almost like an advanced Army green, Recon green, a little bit, not like the pea drab green of the old Jeeps, but a little more 2016.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. They've had that out. It's a pretty neat looking, kind of a really bright green, but metallic in it. Is that the green you're talking about? Really?
No. It's not bright. It's like a darker color.
Oh,
but
okay.
It does have metallic elements. It's a really, really pretty color. The car comes with a 3.2-liter V6, and it's got variable valve timing and electric stop and start. I'm not a big fan of stop and start, but I mean, as we talked about that before.
Right.
That's where we're kind of going these days.
Yes.
A 9-speed automatic with Jeep Active Drive 2. It's one of their all-wheel drive systems. The Active Drive 2 and the 9-speed automatic are standard on the Latitude 4x4 75th edition, although they are an option on some of the other editions. It's just, you just think Jeep, you think, hey, I'm going to get in this car, and I'm going to turn up my XM Sirius satellite radio, and I'm going to do my Bluetooth calls, and I'm going to get my text messages. I mean, Jeep has evolved like all other vehicles have evolved. No longer is it a rudimentary vehicle that kind of bounces you all around. The suspension was very supple in this vehicle. It's got all of the safety systems that you would expect: electronic roll mitigation, ABS brakes, knee airbags for the driver and passenger, which I believe is, could be a first on a SUV in this price class. I'm not sure about that, but I was surprised to see that on this vehicle. It's got the select terrain system where you can choose from sand, snow, mud, ruts. It's a dial-only console where you actually choose the four-wheel drive system parameters that are best suited for your current conditions.
Right.
And got to tell you, those systems work very well. Had an opportunity to go up a wet board. It was kind of like wet on one side, and then it had rollers on the other side. This was years ago in a Jeep.
All right. With
one of their select drivetrain systems. And the car just locks in. It figures out what's going on, and you see the computers working, you see the wheels trying to catch grip, and whatever wheel has the most grip, that's where it's going to go. Even if that wheel doesn't have 100% grip, but it's got more than the others, it's going to supply up to all the power necessary to that one wheel to get you out of that situation that you're in.
Wow.
And to see those other wheels spinning, and then the other wheel with limited traction on a wet, kind of slippery surface, just an amazing display of what these things can actually do off-road. Now, a lot of people don't take their Jeeps off-road.
Right.
A lot of people just like the fact that it's an American-made vehicle, even though it's owned by an Italian company. It's still an American-made vehicle that, just gets the job done.
Now,
Jeep is now owned by Fiat Chrysler.
Right.
And, they own Fiat, Chrysler, Alfa Romeo here in the United States. And they're doing some really good things.
Well,
the reliability of Jeeps is up over the years. And I got to tell you, it's just a really, really nice package. Now, if you get this 1941 package, you get bronze grille surrounds, a bronze roof rail treatment, the 75th anniversary badging, bronze badging in addition to that, orange interior accents, which really set off that green paint very nicely. Vinyl door trim on the panels, which is very classy. It doesn't look like vinyl. And then all of the connectivity things that you would expect, the USB ports, all of the different power outlets. It's got a command view dual pane panoramic sunroof, which lets a lot of light into the interior. It's got a rear park assist system, which helps you get the thing into parking spaces. Blind spot monitoring and cross path detection, which means if you're pulling out of a parking space, for example, and somebody pulls in front of you and you can't see that vehicle, well, the Jeep blind spot cross path system will see it before you do, and will provide a safe way, a notification that, hey, got a little bit of trouble here, bud. You may want to take a look and slow down.
We
just a little
were
bit.
talking about that last week, where how today's newer cars, the 16s and 17s, are all competing about how safe they are with this blind spot or this driver avoidance or this automatic stopping, and they're all bragging about it. And I've seen Subaru, I've seen everyone talk about how great they are. But it's amazing how far this has come in the last few years, Brian. I mean, this is science fiction a few years ago. All cars that stop automatically or autonomous driving, or it's just. And this is probably the next step towards autonomous driving, or cars like this you're talking about, the Jeep. And didn't you say that the engine shuts off when you come to a red light on this vehicle?
When you come to a stop, it doesn't
Right.
necessarily have to be a red light.
Yeah. Just come to a stop. But during that time, your air conditioning's still cold. I guess that means it's probably got an electric air conditioning compressor in there. Probably got electric steering, because you don't want to be sweating at a red light or sitting stop, because you normally have to have an engine running to make the air conditioning compressor work. So it sounds to me
how those
pretty
things
neat.
work. If it senses a drop in. First of all, it's got a 700 amp battery, and it's got a high output alternator.
Okay.
So if it senses a drop in voltage to the point where it thinks that you've been sitting too long,
Right.
the start-stop system will kick back in. So if you're at a traffic light for like 5 minutes or
Right.
something like that, they kick back in,
Okay.
so you're not sweating, and
Yeah.
all of the systems operate at full electrical potential.
Anyway, that sounds really neat. See, Chrysler Fiat tells us, when these cars come into us, before we change any parts whatsoever on them, we've got to check to see if there's a reprogramming on them to repair the problem instead of changing parts. Chrysler, and they now are charging us a lot more money than they used to for this information, but we're fixing these new Fiat, Chrysler, Jeeps, and trucks and things that are coming in here, a lot of them just by reprogramming them without changing parts, which is
Beautiful.
saving
For the consumer.
saving the customer a lot of money.
Yep, James, I wanted to tell you that the Jeep Cherokee is available. I had the Latitude 4x4 75th edition. It's available in Sport, which comes in at the Sport is the cheapest model. The base price is $23,495. Altitude, which is the limited edition, $24,290. Latitude, which is the model that I drove, $25,295. Latitude 75th edition, $27,295, and then the Latitude 75th Anniversary edition. That's about the same price as the one I drove. So I'm assuming that's the same model, the 75th Anniversary edition, at $27,875. Uconnect, telematics, all kinds of nice features on this Jeep. It's a buy. I like what they've done here. I like the fact that you can have off-road capability and on-road, in-town, safety and comfort. No problems with the back seat. If somebody's sitting behind, Giant Brian, you can still sit somebody in the back seat. The third row seats have a power. I'm sorry, that's the wrong vehicle. I'm thinking of the vehicle I'm in now. This is a two-row automobile, but just a lot of convenience features built into the 2016 Jeep Cherokee Latitude 4x4 75th edition. You can go to Jeep.com and you can look at the entire lineup. They talk about the history a little bit. They talk about some of the awards that it's received. And it's just a really, really nice vehicle, James.
It does really sound. Brian, we're up against the clock. We look forward to hearing you next week, and you're going to be talking about, I don't know what you're talking about next week. Do you have any idea what car you're going to be talking about before you go to Canada?
I don't know, just for sure.
We'll figure it out.
The Jeep used to be a Bantam, and then it was a Willys, and then it was an AMC, and then it was a Jeep.
That's what it was. Anyway, my wife let me know that Jeep stands for government purpose. Is what Jeep government purpose, and she's a lot smarter than me remembering that stuff. But anyway, thank you so much, Brian. We'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye, everybody.
James Auto Center, we fix it right.